Alright, hey guys, so today I'm going to be taking a quick look at a game called Raft. This is a multiplayer or co-op survival game that originally released in May of 2018, but it's been in early access all this time, and typically with early access games I like to wait until there's more content available. I think at this moment this game is almost finished, so it's a good time to take a look at it. So let's go ahead and join a new world. So starting out, we are completely stranded in the middle of the ocean, and there's a bunch of supplies that are floating by, and we are on basically 4 planks, and underneath there are some, I guess, some water jugs keeping them afloat. Meanwhile, there is a shark that continues to circle around your raft throughout the entire game, unless you kill it, and then it goes away for a little while, and then a new one comes back. But the main focus is to get as many supplies as possible, and then you start crafting and building up your raft, and then building various tools that you can use to survive. There's also a thirst meter and a hunger meter, and obviously you can't just drink salt water or you'll end up dying. So we have to make a water purifier, and we also need to make some sort of fire to cook some fish and make a fishing rod that's for food. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting concept. It reminds me a lot of like those like Minecraft modded servers where you just start on like a little piece of land floating in the middle of nowhere, and you have to try to work your way up by collecting supplies and crafting new materials. It's actually a pretty fun concept. So it's not just in the water either. There are islands you can find, and on the islands you can find new resources, and there's also some deep sea areas where you can go underwater and collect like ores and seaweed and clay and all sorts of different materials on the ground surface to grow even larger. Eventually you're going to want to build an antenna to find the even larger islands, and there's all sorts of different like buildings and stuff that you can explore, and you can find all sorts of interesting stuff. But the beginning of the game is kind of grindy, I would say, where you're just collecting as many resources as possible. The leaves are used to make rope, the planks are used to mostly expand your raft. The shark will attack every so often. I am playing on easy mode, so it doesn't attack as often as normal. But when the shark attacks, it will break pieces of your boat. So you have to basically stab it with a spear. So that's one of the first things you would want to make, is a spear as well. So let me just collect a few more things and I'll show you the crafting menu. So this is the crafting menu, and you can unlock a lot more stuff later on in the game. But the initial things you would want to build is like a building hammer to expand the raft, and then you would want to build like a wooden spear. We would need some rope, so we would need to go here and craft some rope with the leaves, and there's some more barrels coming up. Can't miss the barrels. Let me go ahead and just pick these up real quick, and then we're going to want to focus on building a water purifier or a fishing rod, either one. So the shark's coming. It's going to eat my boat, and unfortunately I do not have a wooden spear. Let's go and craft one, and then let's go ahead and stab the shark. Probably won't be able to get it in time, and as you see, it just broke one of the pieces of the boat. If I wait too long, it'll take all the pieces and then I'll definitely die. So you always want to repair when you can, and you want to keep expanding the raft and make it a little bit larger than what it is now. It's definitely much more enjoyable playing with a team of people. It makes collecting resources and building up a lot faster, especially considering alone you're not able to collect as many materials as with multiple people. I definitely suggest playing with at least one other person, otherwise I feel like this game just kind of drags on for too long. But even playing solo, it is quite amusing, and if you like games that like take a little bit longer to complete, this is definitely a good one. So yeah, there's a lot more we can build. We can build a fishing rod, and we can fish so we can get some more food. Need to get some more leaves as well to get some more rope. Sometimes these barrels have rope as well. Not always. There we go. You can also just pick stuff up. If I jump in the water though, the shark will come after me, so that's why I'm not like swimming around trying to pick up everything, and I'm using this hook as much as possible. So let's go ahead and see if we can make that rope, and then we can make a fishing rod. Fishing is very simple in this game. You basically just toss it in the water. You wait like 10 or 15 seconds, and then a fish will be on the hook, and it's basically as easy as that. Every time you cast it, you always catch a fish. So the fishing rod is definitely a good source of food early game. So yeah, let me just catch a fish, and then I'll see what I need to build the other stuff. So I just caught a raw pomfret. So after collecting resources for a little while, you'll see that your hunger and thirst have dropped, and you're going to go into survival mode. You're going to want to build a cup and a purifier to begin with. This will allow you to basically heat up salt water and make fresh water. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll get our cup out, and the shark has attacked again. Die, shark! There we go, and we saved it. You can also repair these things, and that's normally what you do is you get the shark off and then you repair what it's broken. There's also a little island in the left side of the screen. That one's really tiny though. So yeah, we're gonna get the cup, we're gonna fill it with salt water, put it in here, place some planks, and then we'll make fresh water, and that is how we're gonna fill our thirst meter, allowing us to survive a bit longer. Also, we're going to have to build a simple grill. We're going to need some rope, so let's build some rope, make the grill, and let's toss the grill down. And we'll put the grill here, place some planks, and let's go ahead and get out that fish that we just caught, and we will grill the fish. So that's the simple way to survive. At this point, I'm more or less self-sufficient. I can keep catching fish to fill my hunger, and I can keep purifying water to fill my thirst. So you're going to want to keep doing this throughout the game, and later on there's bigger like crafting machines you can build to get more water, and bigger grills or to cook more fish at once, and so forth. So skipping forward a little bit, this is the start of day 2. I went ahead and built a sail, and I also have a paddle, and I have a sleeping bed as well. I do see some rocks over there in the left corner. Sometimes you have to like tilt your camera in a certain way to see the islands. So that's not a big island in any regard. There's not any trees. Usually you'll find a little bit bigger, smaller islands that have some trees on it, where you can find some like pineapple, watermelon, coconuts, which is very useful to survive. But I'm gonna go ahead and go this way just to show you that you can actually dive down into the waters and find new resources. Now that I've made it to these rocks, just so my boat doesn't drift away, I could either like place it on the rock with a sail. That's kind of risky, so you want to build a little anchor. This is a temporary anchor that you can only use one time. It's just a bucket of rocks, you throw it in the water, and then your ship will stay in one place. The shark can still attack while you're visiting various islands and so forth, so you have to keep that in mind. But if you dive down, you can actually go through the water, and you can find various salvage, rocks, sand, metal ores, copper ores, and all sorts of good stuff down here, some seaweed, and you'll use these to further expand your craft. You'll eventually make a like furnace, and you'll smelt down the ores, and you can make more advanced components, and yeah, you'll need to do this in order to move forward. So yeah, that's just a quick look at the initial part of the game. There are other things you can find in the water, like other ships that have been abandoned, various like little sails, and you can find like loot crates or boxes. Sometimes they're deep down in the water, and those will have some good materials in them as well. So for the most part, you're basically just building up your raft, collecting resources, and then visiting various islands. And at some point in the game, you'll be able to visit larger islands, which are pretty neat to explore. So I'm skipping way ahead here, but this is me and my girlfriend's server. We've been playing on it for quite a few hours now. We're playing on easy mode, but we have this raft set up and a bunch of interesting supplies. She made a little kitchen over there to cook various recipes, and she's putting them on the boards. And using these antennas, we can actually track down larger islands, or the big islands that have more interesting loot. There's various buildings that you can find, and there's also wildlife on these islands. So it's kind of neat because you can build this battery and this receiver, and then you can actually track down where the islands are actually situated, and you can use your sails to drift in that direction. So yeah, that was just a quick look at Raft, a pretty interesting survival game. I quite enjoy it, especially playing with at least one or two other people. It becomes a very good experience, something you can sink quite a few hours into. So yeah, it's still in early access. It's about $20 on the Steam store. I'm sure it goes on sale every so often, and I highly recommend trying it out if you're looking for something to play. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.